Okay, today we're going to talk about solving exponential equations. And the difference with these exponential equations is you're going to notice that it's not only a number in the power slot, that we also have a variable in the power slot. Okay, so on the first one, our goal is to get the base number with the exponent by itself. So you'll notice that we have a -2 that's not up in the power slot, that's on the same side with the base 3 with the power. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of that -2 first. So in order to do that, we're going to add 2 to both sides. So then that gives us the base 3 and our power of 4x minus 1 equals 600. So now what we want to do is we want to be figuring out how are we going to get the x out of the power slot. And earlier in this unit, we talked about some log properties. And if you remember, we had a log property that said, oh, if I have a log, then I am able to take my power and move it out in front of my log. So in order to make this happen, what I would do is I would start by saying, if I put a log on one side of the equation, then I can put a log on the other side to keep it balanced. And as long as you have it on both sides, it doesn't change anything. And then I can use my property rule that says I'm going to now take my exponent and move it out in front of my log. And when I do that, I'm going to take my exponent and I'm going to put it in parentheses here. And I put it out in front of my log. And now I want to get the parentheses part by itself, so I want to get rid of that log 3 on the left side. And basically, I'm taking that parentheses times log 3, so in order to get rid of that, I would divide the log 3 away. So in order to do that, I would just divide the log 3 away. So then I would have 4x minus 1 equals, and then I would take out my calculator and I would use the log button on my calculator. So I would type in log 600 divided by log 3. And then I'm going to round this out to 3 decimal places. So that will give me 5.823. And then from here, I would just solve this like a normal equation. So add the 1 over. So 4x equals 6.823. And then divide that by 4. And I get a final answer of x equals 1.706. Okay, we'll come back to B. Let's slide down to C. Okay, and C is very similar to the first one. The biggest difference on C is you will notice that at the very beginning it says we have 2 times the base of 7 raised to the power 3x plus 2, and then minus 8 equals 64. So once again, let's start by getting rid of the minus 8. So we're going to add that over. So hold on, pen here. Why is my pen lagging? Okay, so then we have 2 times 7 raised to the 3x plus 2 equals 72. And then we can't have that 2 times in front of the base because we want to get just the base part by itself. So to get rid of the 2 times, we should divide each side by 2. So then let's divide each side by 2. Sorry, I'm not sure why my pen is lagging so much. So then we're going to have 7 raised to the 3x plus 2 equals 36. And then we want to get the x out of the power slot. So this is where I would think, oh yes, I want to put a log there so I can move my exponent out in front. So then I'm going to have a log and remember, if I put a log on one side, I must also put a log on the other side. And then I'm going to take my power and move that in front, and I'm going to put that in parentheses. And then on the left side, I want to get rid of the log 7, so I'm going to divide that away. So then I have 3x plus 2 equals, and then on your calculator, hit the log key, 36 divided by a log key 7, and you should get 1.842. And then solve this like a regular equation. So subtract 2. So 3x equals negative 0.158. And then if you divide that out, you will get x equals negative 0.053 as your final answer. Okay, then let's go back up to B, because B is going to be a tiny bit different. And the reason this one's going to be a little bit different is because you notice this one has the letter E in the problem. Okay, so if you have the letter E in the problem, your goal should be to get the letter E, because that's your base. So let's get E by itself. So we're going to start by subtracting the 4. So 5e raised to the 3x minus 2 equals 14. And then we want to get rid of the 5 in front of the e. So to get rid of a coefficient in front, you should divide it away. So e raised to the 3x minus 2 equals 2.8. And now instead of a log, you should be thinking, well, what did we talk about earlier in this unit that goes with E? And you should have an ln. So ln goes with E. So I'm going to put an ln on both sides. And then remember, for ln, the base of ln is always the letter E. And we know that if the base and the term right next to it were the same, then we said they canceled each other out. So then we have 3x minus 2 on the left. So the ln and the e make each other disappear on the left. And then on the right side, you should hit the ln button on your calculator and then type in 2.8 and you get 1.03. And then solve this like a regular equation. So add the 2 over. So 3x equals 3.03. And then to get our final answer, we divide. So x equals 1.01. And then we are done.